quickly, and then we're going to get going on our filling, and then we can get going making our ravioli. But in the last few years, I look at stuff in more than the last few years, but the outlets for a culinary school education are more than they have ever been. Like, you don't have to go to culinary school only to work in a restaurant anymore. There are test kitchens, there are like so many different ways, like, be a YouTube person if you want, or, like so many different places to use your education. Be a food writer, like wherever you can go and make your own way and make your own opportunity and get paid for it, boom. That's on. Like I think a lot of times the only thing you're limited to is your creativity. So get out there and experience it and do it. And I have to say, as a chef, my mother hates me to say this, but I'm a professional flavor supplier. True story, she did, to say it like that. Like, I sure do, because I really am, and I love, but I get so much joy from providing pleasure for other people. Okay. I know I'm a chef and I just play one on TV, but can you turn this off for me? Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so I have some shallots and I have the base to the porcini mushrooms. So we're just going to sweat our shallots. So let's talk about what sweating is. What do you do when you sweat? You get hot, you let off water, and you start to smell. Well, that's a good thing when we're going to just sweat our shallots, which means we're going to saute them without adding any color to them. We're going to salt them from the beginning. Oh, there we go, a little bit of shallot, a little bit of salt. So I remember being in skills class here, being like, making my velouté or hollandaise or whatever, and going up and be like, hey chef, try it. And they'd be like, all right, more salt. And I would be so scared to death, so I'd go back to the station and I would add like 2 pieces of salt. And I'd be tasting it and I'd be like, okay, more salt. And then they're like, no, more salt. But it took me a long time to really, truly understand the purpose of salt. And what salt does is it turns the volume up on flavor. So it makes things just taste more of what they are. So pepper, people sometimes ask me a lot, like, why don't you cook with pepper? And I'm like, well, pepper and salt, pepper, do not have the same function. Salt makes things taste more. Like, have we ever heard of anyone putting salt on watermelon? Yeah. And you're like, what are these freak shows, just like salty watermelon? No, what it does is it actually makes the watermelon taste sweeter. Like, a lot of times when you're making desserts, like Dr. Brian was saying Dr. Brian was saying in his introduction, like salty caramel. If the salt makes the caramel taste more. Salt makes everything taste. cheese. I have a couple of cups of Parmigiano, grated Parmigiano cheese. I have a bunch of parsley for a nice green grassy flavor, and some salt. So, oh, and a couple of eggs. There we go. So when these guys are starting to cook, starting to close the bit, so we're gonna add those. Very excited to be part of the party. Ooh, I have a question. What do you have? Hi. Can you speak up, Dodo?
Yeah. What inspires you to cook, and what necessarily inspires you to come up with new recipes? You just
What still inspires me to cook after all these years? What still inspires me to cook? First of all, I just love, like, and this is going to sound like such an odd thing, but when you get into my position, celebrity chef, like, no one wants me to really cook anymore. People want, so when I get bunched up and when I get like, and I need to shut the world out, I go home and I cook. I put on music, I open a bottle of Prosecco, I blast it, and I cook because that's my happy place. What inspires me to cook? So I'll tell you this. Where was I just going? I just got distracted. 3 reasons that I made the restaurant industry and cooking my career. 1, I can go anywhere in the world and do my job. Literally eat everywhere. 2, the people that work in this industry are absolutely fantastic. They're nutty, they're crazy, sometimes they can break your heart, other times they make your day. But everyone's just a little bit off-center. I like that. Kelsey agrees when they say. But I like that. And it's like usually people are really creative and really smart and just have a different outtake. I'm like, all right, almost there. And then 3, my education is never over. There is always something new to learn. There is always somewhere to travel. There's always some new flavor combination or something to have. That's what inspires me. And these days, I get inspired so much by teaching. Like, I really, truly do love to teach. And I love to have people experience the joy that I feel when I cook for other people. If I can help other people do that, and that's what I do on Worst Cooks. Like, yes, Worst Cooks is a silly, silly show. Like, these people are really the worst cooks in America. But what happens, we all start off laughing at them. But I fight with the Food Network and I fight with producers every single season. Where are the teaching moments? Like, what is the takeaway for these people? How is the show, these people coming on the show for a few weeks, when they go home, how does this make their life better? Because they go home and people come back and tell me, my kids eat better because of you. You helped get me through chemotherapy. That kind of stuff. You hear, like, this is cooking now is something I do with my teenager because it's like sort of how we can meet in the middle on stuff. And so I realized what I do, yes, by way of a silly show, is inspirational to people. So that makes me happy to get out of bed and do my job every single day. All right, so back to our puzzle. Let's talk about rolling out this guy. So now, look at this guy, and let's zoom in. After letting him rest for about 15 minutes or so, I can poke my fingers in there, and instead of it springing right back, I can see that my pasta is much more ready for me to poke it and it's like saying, oh, I like my new leg. Okay, good. So now we're going to start to roll this like my career, I was so driven in my career, and I really I had something to prove. I had something that I really wanted to do, and my choice was to not have kids and to not have a family. So a lot of times you see, it is a trade-off for women especially, but those, I will say, are sort of in the historical kind of days, because these days now, there are so many more outlets of places that you can work, things that you can do, all of that kind of stuff. And it's not, you have so many more options about where you can use your culinary school education. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to work at night or that kind of stuff. It's a choice about what you do. It is a choice about, the addiction thing. I mean, I feel like that's a whole other topic. But it's honestly, I think addiction is part of life. Yeah, not just part of our kind of life. Thank you. You're welcome. I hope that helps. Yeah, I mean, it is a choice ultimately. All right. Super. All right, so look at my blue eyes and pasta that I'm rolling out now. I'm rolling this through a number of times. So I'm rolling this through a number of times, and so my dough is really beautiful, silky smooth, soft, and supple. So I'm going to roll it through one more time after this. Now, when we're making ravioli, especially ravioli that are this big, we need to not have the thinnest dough you've ever had in your life, because we need a little backbone for this guy to stand up to the fillings. We need the fillings to be able to stay inside our ravioli. So I'm going to roll this through on one setting, one thinner than this, but it is not the thinnest pasta I've ever rolled out to.
You're going to need another drink, Chef. Another drink. There's people lining up.
I think you need to shut it. Well, thank you. All right, hi, how are you?
If Dr. Ryan called you tomorrow and said we need you on staff, what would you teach here?
If Dr. Ryan called me tomorrow, you hear this, Dr. Ryan? I've actually said this to him a number of times. If Dr. Ryan called me tomorrow and said, Burrell, write a curriculum for a class here at the CIA, what I would offer to teach is culinary communication. So it is so wildly important, and it's not just for people that are wanting to go work on the Food Network. You could be having, a restaurant anywhere, and the news calls you up and said, hey, we hear that you guys are the biggest thing ever. We're going to send a reporter by. Can you, if you can't give the 2-minute explanation of what the mission of your restaurant is and what you do there and what your great dish is, people are people's attention span is 10 seconds these days. So as a chef also, what are you? You are a teacher. You have to be able to communicate to your staff about how and why and when and whatever their job is, and your recipes and your food. Because otherwise people will interpret it the way they want and not how you want. And you're like, okay, when your jacket says chef of whatever restaurant, you make it this way. Until now, we're making it my way.
Thank you, Chef.
So you have to be able to culinary communication. You have to be able to demo. You have to be able to talk about your food. You have to be able to recover if something goes wrong. That kind of stuff. Culinary communication, wildly important.
Sign me up, Chef. I'll be there.
In other words, shut up, you got it.
No.
Sorry, I was passionate about that one. All right. So I rolled my pasta out to the perfect thickness. Now I'm going to start to form my ravioli. So I see you guys, I'll be there in 1 second. So I'm going to just apply the glue. Did you taste it? What do you think? Okay. bathroom. You think about why. We're gonna salt our pasta water. We're going to have a lot of Parmigiano to finish this up. So this to me seasoned very appropriately now, but we have a lot of other salt factors coming in, so that's why I'm making this dish as a dish. All right. Yes, please, thank you. All right, what do we have?
What was your most memorable experience at the CIA?
What was my most memorable experience at the CIA? Oh my gosh. Oh, among a million of them. Okay, so I remember there was this thing that we used to do here. It was called Grand Buffet, and it was like before, like the night before our graduation, and like all the classes would come out, and like in Great Hall would do like this big thing, and President Metz, the president before Dr. Ryan, would come around and with a graduation guest speaker and talk to everyone about like what their dishes were. And someone in my class had to go to the bathroom, and so I took over their dish, and that's right when Dr. Metz came, or Mr. Metz came up, and he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's a veal blanquette." He said, "All right, well, what's the definition of a veal blanquette?" And I told him, and he disagreed with me, and I was like, "Oh, no, that is not right." And I went like back to my textbook, and I was like, "I knew it, I was right." But I was also so scared about it. I'm like, I think, you know. I mean, so many experiences here. I've never had better friends. I have never, it was the first time that I was at the right place at the right time in my life to, as I said, grade school, high school, 4 years of college. I don't ever remember paying attention in school until I got here. And then it was the first time I was a straight A student. I loved every second of being a student here. I loved it. All right, there we go. All right, so we're making these fillings kind of big, and we'll see why. All right, so, can I have one spoon, please? Perfect, thank you. So now, I'm just gonna make a little nest in which I'm going to, you know, you think about, we're gonna put an egg yolk in here, right? Where do eggs get laid? In the nest. So the eggs are returning from whence they came. Okay, there we go. What do you have?
I was just wondering, since being back, how does it feel like being a teacher instead of a student?
Can you speak up, darling?
I was wondering, since being back, how does it feel like being a teacher instead of a student?
Since I've been back to the CIA, you mean like today, I have to say it is just so delightfully, wonderfully nostalgic for me. And then I look around and I'm like, Jesus, you guys have so much more crap than we had when I was here. You know, like, I mean, there were no chalets. This building wasn't here. There was like, and I'm like, there was no place to get even a cup of coffee if you weren't in class. So I look back and I'm like, wow, these guys have it so great. But I look back at it and I think about when I was first starting here and everything was so new and so exciting. And I look back at it and I'm like kind of jelly of people starting their culinary school over again. Because I look at it and I'm like, I loved it so much that if I had the chance to do it again, I would do it in a second. I loved it. All right, what else? What do you have?
Hi, I was wondering who your most inspirational person, like, in your whole career has been.
Gosh. Well, I have to say, these days that's sort of the $64,000 question. You know, this is sort of a touchy subject.